Good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope that you are having an amazing afternoon. This is a very, very special treat this afternoon. You're going to see us here every Friday doing this new live with my dear friend of over 10 years. So get excited. Like, he's going to join us and we're going to talk about healing trauma today. It is so important to get into it. Okay, he's here. I'm so excited. Let me add.
I don't know what you mean by Siri.
No one asked you nothing, Siri. Siri's talking. All right, let me see. There we go. Let me add you. Why won't let me add you? Okay, there we go. Well, I'm so excited. Hopefully we'll figure out how to get into places. If not, you'll just have to listen. Hey, King Jones is in the building. Oh my goodness. I'm your TikTok husband. Oh, okay, TikTok husband. Somebody said they my TikTok husband. Well, I'm gonna need you. What's his name? Lawrence. Well, Lawrence, I'm gonna need you to get to Atlanta so you can pay some TikTok bills. Okay. If you want the job, it's definitely it's open. I'm taking applications.
That's so funny.
Oh my God. Welcome, Jones. I'm so excited to see you.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
I hear you amazingly well.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I'm so happy that you came up with this whole idea. This has been stuff that I have been talking about for years. This emotional trauma. Y'all folks are so broken. Y'all taking y'all broken selves, piling up in somebody else's life and bringing your broke up self to their life and breaking them up.
It's long overdue. You know, I think I also feel like, you know, this connection, this venture is long overdue. You've been doing your lives and your interviews, your radio interviews for the last year now, and you've been building your name, the Darlaina Rose brand, health and wellness, and you know, you've not only helped me, but you've helped thousands of other people, you know, achieve success with health and wealth and mindset.
Yes.
You know, and I think the combination of us both, you know, doing this together, you know, is going to be great. There's a lot of people that need us right now.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people that need us right now.
Absolutely. So, this is a subject that we are not new to. I am a certified emotional healer. I have been in the emotional healing space probably the whole 10 years, but I really didn't get certified. I started doing the work intently with intention 4 years ago. And this year, I have been able to now to get certified in it. So I'm absolutely certified in helping you to heal this trauma. And so it is a subject that it is absolutely crucial for people to heal their trauma, this childhood trauma. Sometimes trauma doesn't come till late in life. It can come early in life. It can come in utero while your mother is pregnant with you. It can come from your ancestors. It can come from a lot of different. Hold on. People not used to me being online this time. Hold on. Let me let my baby daughter know I'm online. She's so used to me being finished my calls. This is absolutely something that intuitively came to us to do, and so we are following intuition and the needs of the many to come here. And so it is so important. Hold on, she's calling me multiple times, so something has got to be wrong. Hold on, give me 30 seconds. Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Give me a second. Let me
Okay.
make sure that she's
Yeah, take your
okay.
time. The volume
Are you
keeps going
okay?
in and out a little bit.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. Are you all right?
Yes, Mom. Look.
That's Trish.
It's Vonyelle. Listen, look what she's showing me.
It came in.
Her dress.
Danielle. Hi.
Is that Christopher?
Yes. So I am online doing a live with him.
Wow.
Oh, sorry.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
So beautiful.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
So I am the mother of the bride. It looks amazing. I can't wait. Oh my goodness. The train is beautiful. Everything is beautiful.
I'm coming to the wedding.
Yes, yes. August 2023. Absolutely. Oh my God. It's beautiful, Mom. Don't be calling me trying to make me cry looking at that, okay? Oh my God, my baby's
That's
getting
all I wanted
married.
to show you.
she don't know the whole world is looking at it too.
Yeah, the whole world just got a whole peek at it.
Wow.
So yeah.
All right.
All right. Love you. Talk to you soon.
Love you too.
All right. Bye.
I'm trying to join the Zoom, but it's not working.
Okay. Don't worry about it. We'll work on that and we'll get it together by next Friday, because we will be here every Friday at 11:11 to share with you.
11:11. Now, for a lot of people who are not familiar with 11:11, I'm sure there's a lot of people watching that are, but 11:11 is a number, a very powerful numerology number for alignment and for guidance. When you see 11:11, that usually means that your spirit guides are showing you that you're on the right path, that you're doing the right thing, that you are being guided towards a beginning of something. The one is the one of the first is the first number in the numerology set, in our numeric chart. So it's the beginning, of great things to happen. So that's why we chose 11:11. Of course, we both travel. I travel a lot. I'm in Miami right now. So for all of my LA people, it's like 8:11 there. I think Costa Rica is an hour behind. So it's 10:11 in Costa Rica.
Yes.
So we're going to keep this going. Thank you for everyone who joined today. I'm really excited to talk about this. It's something that, like you said, Darlaina, trauma comes up. Sometimes it doesn't come up at 30 years old.
Yes.
Some of the traumas that we experience, because when we're younger, when we're 5 or 6, and we go through, growing up in a ghetto environment, when we grow up in a drug environment, when we grow up in an environment of violence and of drugs and street wars and things like that, and also when we grow up in an environment of unrest in our home, parents going through divorce, not getting along, some of those things that happen when we're young, we forget. When we're 5, 6, 10, when we're 15, we don't, so many things happen between, the time you're born and 20 years old. By the time you're 30, you forget all the things that happened between the time you were born and 20. Because between 20 and 30, so many other things have happened. And so you take on new things, you carry new spirits from 20 to 30. You forgot about all the spirits that you carried between the time you were born and the time you're 20. 21. So it's so important. And a lot of men, especially, we as men, we are, the protectors, right? We're the protectors. We are the carriers. We're supposed to be the support, right? So it's even more important for men to heal their traumas, because if not, then we can't be that support that we need to be. We can't be the carriers. We can't be the protectors that we need to be. We can be protectors, but we're protecting in the wrong way. We're not protecting from the lens of clarity and from peace and from healing. We're not protecting from a place of healing. It's more, warrior. You know, like
Fight.
even if you look
Fight.
like and there's warrior is a good thing. Don't get me wrong, but it's a more barbaric type of protection.
Yeah.
It's a more barbaric type of protection versus coming from a place. That's why it's hard for women to trust certain men.
Yes.
Because they're coming from a barbaric place.
Yes.
Versus a place of peace and harmony and love.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So there's so many points to touch on with this topic.
Yeah. So men, you know, inherently are given these roles as protector, as having to be strong. Men are told from a very young age that you're not allowed to cry, that you're a punk if you do. Men are told to suck it up, which it doesn't mean that you don't get hurt, that you don't experience hurt. Men that lose their mothers early, men that lose their fathers early, men who never bond with their parents for whatever reason. Those traumas and those hurts are there with you. And so that is why it's so important to look back at that life before you start pulling in women and children and all that kind of stuff. It's so important to heal those broken places. And so the work that needs to happen is, you know, your subconscious mind has been with you. It's been with you since the day you were born. And so yes, absolutely. So your subconscious mind, even before you were born, your subconscious mind is with you from the moment you are a living thing. And so your subconscious mind knows what happened. It knows who did it. It knows when they did it. It knows exactly how you felt. Your subconscious mind is then there placed to protect you to never have that happen again. And so when it comes up, any old hurt that has not been healed, the subconscious mind says, you remember the last time that happened? That you didn't like that. So cuss her out, or cuss him out, or yell and scream and do all this stuff to protect yourself.
Right.
So your subconscious mind has to be now cleansed or healed of that past hurt, because otherwise it runs as an algorithm quietly.
Wow.
In there, just coming up and saying, this don't feel right. I don't like it. You know what happened the last time, so we're not doing that. And so you sabotage. You don't know why you sabotage it. It's because that algorithm is running. And so the purpose in emotional healing is to go in, find these emotions that are there. Oh, wishes from India. Amazing. We global. We worldwide. And so going in the work that I do, I actually have conversation with your subconscious mind. You literally do not have to say words.
Right.
Because your body holds all your answers. And so using a modality like muscle testing, when I touch your body, if your body is strong, that's a positive. If your body is weak, it's a negative. And so that happens to you in life. If you go somewhere and it's a negative space and you're living in negative spaces, negative environments, those environments weaken the body as a whole. And so you need to be in positive environments. So that's why it's so important as a holistic healer. It's your whole body. It's your whole thoughts. It's your whole everything. And so when you are looking to heal, absolutely anybody can tell you what to eat, what to drink, how to exercise. But the goal is, are they tapping into the mental spaces, your soul, and your subconscious mind? Because you need to clear all that trauma before you can show up for anybody. You have to show up for you.
Yourself.
You got to show up for you. Self-love and the love that we give ourselves by giving yourself the hour for meditation and prayer, giving yourself the bath, the spiritual time. all of that is a gift to yourself. You are the first indication on how the world is to love on you. If we don't see you loving you, how can you expect anybody else to show up in your life to love you?
yourself,
You
to love
haven't
you.
given us any example.
It's so good. And I love how you spoke about the you called it the anomaly. What did you call it? The
Subconscious?
you used subconscious mind. It was a word you used that was very powerful.
Algorithm.
You used the word algorithm. When you talk about an algorithm, the algorithm is something that repeats itself, right?
Mhm.
Like the algorithmic math, right? Like there's
Yes.
a certain set of numbers
Yes.
that
Yes.
or a pattern. Algorithm is a
Yes.
pattern.
Yes. Yes.
A pattern is a mathematical pattern. That is a form of programming, right? So
Yes.
when I was, I want to say 15, I might have been like 16. It was my freshman year in high school. So I was probably like 15, 16. And I met this young man who was like 10 years older than me. And he was so cool and, suave. And he was like a playboy type. And he just was like, he wore nice clothes and he wore earrings. And he became over the last, over this time span of the time that I was 15 until all the way through high school, he was a very influential part of my life.
Yes.
And I always say that I learned all of the wrong ways how to treat women from this man, because, and this is how it works, right? The program. Yeah. He learned how to look and to deal with women from someone else.
Yes.
And then I looked at it as a young 15-year-old boy. I look at that and like, oh, that's cool. He's cool. I want to be like that. I want to do that. And then I start to do those same things, right? At 15, because the mind at a young age is very impressionable. Mm-hmm. The mind is very you absorb so much at that young age.
Yes.
So I'm thinking like, it's okay to do certain things with women. It's okay to treat women this way or look at women this way or talk to women this way, because my father wasn't there, which is another part of the trauma, right?
Yes.
It's a ripple effect.
Absolutely.
And so I didn't have a strong male figure. So this was my strong male figure. And so I'm looking at him, he was very misogynistic when it comes to women, every woman was a sex tool.
Yes.
Every woman was a sex tool, right? And so there was no seeing women as human beings and seeing women as the carriers of life. There was no.
People are so not used to me being online right now. Oh my goodness. Decline. Sorry. Continue. People are not used to me being online this time. They know that I'm online from 8 to 11. And after 11, all bets are off. So I have to put the word out. Listen.
Fridays is our day. I need Fridays. I need Fridays with Rose.
Yes.
But to my point, that algorithm was programmed in my mind at a young age, right?
Yes.
And so that programming, it takes a long time to delete those programs.
Yes.
It takes a long time to reset that algorithm.
Yes.
From thinking one way to going to another thought process. And it wasn't until I started doing my major healing and my practice of meditation and self-love and self-worth and all of these things, literally I can feel all of the traumas from that relationship falling off because I was doing my healing work. I was doing my meditation. I was, I was investing in self-worth and self-love. And I also changed the lens of how I looked at women. It's very important when you have to do this. This is a very important part to all my male friends, my younger male friends, my older male friends. In order to heal a trauma, you have to completely get rid of everything that you were ever taught.
Yes.
it's almost like you have to reset, you have to hit like a reset button and like forget all of the things that you were taught at a younger age. And it's easier said than done, obviously, because these things are imputed into our brain. But when you can strategically start to focus on forgetting what the past old things that you were taught and literally starting afresh and asking the universe, asking God, asking spirit to show you a new lens. When I started doing that, even the relationships that I had with women started to change.
Yes.
It started to shift.
Because you did.
It started to shift. And I can feel the trauma of that particular relationship fall off. Jai in the building.
Yes. Yes. Hey, Jai. Jay Boogie in the building. But you know, the great thing about this space that we are now holding is that not only being here with us is the cheat code. Every game is a cheat code. We are the cheat code. We are your cheat code. We have the tools and the expertise to help you to heal this trauma. If you really want to let it go, listen, one of my friends, she told me, she said, because I met you, she just said it on my call last night. She said, I had to release my mental files. She said, I got files of everything that anybody has ever done for me. I'm like an elephant. I remember in 1973, you pushed me down, you called me a B, whatever it was, she got the mental file to say whatever it was that she experienced. And she said, you made me realize that I was hurting myself.
Wow.
That I needed to let all that. She said, not only did I have the mental file, she said, I still had the text messages. Hey, Vern in the building. She said, I still had the text messages from people from 5 years ago and 10 years ago from when they hurt me. So whenever
I'm about to keep talking.
She said, when I would go back to the message and read it again and get mad again. That was so long ago. The person is no longer even thinking about that. The person has moved well on and gone. And so we have to release the old trauma in order to get to our new selves. How do you get to your new self? You got to let that stuff go. You got to release the person who did something from you, not to say that, we lost Jones. Not to say you deleted text and burn the letters. Yes, because it's so important to release this stuff so it releases you. And you are forgiving yourself, you're forgiving them, and releasing the whole situation. Not to condone anything that they've done. We're not saying that it's okay. Absolutely not. But what we're saying is that we will not be imprisoned by something that somebody did to us so long ago so that we cannot live the life that we want to live. We're no longer doing that. Hold on, there we go. Yeah, we're no longer doing that. Yes, I was just saying that we, releasing those mental files. Josh said she had to delete the text and burn the letters at the time. And so that's releasing yourself. So you forgive yourself, you forgive that person and let it go. Because I always say, some people are holding on to stuff like a dog with a bone with gravy on it. Y'all need to let it go.
It's so powerful that you just said that, and shout out to Ja, because like
ZZ in the building.
When you text, when you burn letters, text, like that's actually a ceremonial spiritual ceremony, right?
Yes.
So spiritually, you have to go in and do that, right? You have to go in, you have to like almost like
it's a releasing. He is having trouble, but it truly is a releasing. It's a releasing. And that ceremony absolutely burns it for spirit. It burns it for spirit. So spirit is in agreement with you when you release that stuff. You got to let it go. You got to let it go. I guess we're going to have to work really hard on equipment.
My bad, I lost you again.
Yes. I said, we're going to have to work hard on our equipment to get you right.
It's you know what? It's because I'm in this lobby. I'm in this lobby of this beautiful
Yes.
condo, and the Wi-Fi is like shared. So it's probably going to keep going in and out. But
Okay.
I'm here.
Josh said, IG won't let you be great. Hey, cousin, my cousin is here. I am
Alice,
so.
Alice is here. Alice.
Hey, Alice. Hey, Sarita. Sarita said good day. But it's so important to do that. Oh my God, my family. Oh my God, y'all stop. If they don't stop calling me, decline. Oh my God. Josh said when she burned the letters, that resentment she had for over 6 years was over. Absolutely. Do the work. You got to do your work.
Do the work.
You got to do your work.
You know, for me, for like past hurt, right?
Yes.
So past hurt is a part of attaching to trauma, because when someone hurts us or does something bad to us, or, you know, cheats on us or whatever it might be, you know, lies to us, tells untruths, that is a part of that trauma stems from ancestrally, right? So ancestrally, when people do things to us that are hurtful, we internalize that, and then it deals with the heart. It deals with the heart chakra.
Yes.
And you're hurt and you're depressed and you get sad, right?
Yes.
So that can bring up a lot of trauma.
Yes.
When you do your practice, you're practicing your meditation, you're practicing peace, you're asking spirit to come and heal your heart, right?
Yes.
You know, there's certain meditations there's a meditation that I do that's specifically to heal the heart. There's certain mantras that you use to specifically to heal the heart. When people are not educated with meditation, you know, some people go to therapy, some people have a therapist, some people have, you know, like a mentor that helps them through. But the biggest part of healing that trauma from someone hurting us or someone doing something wrong to us is forgiveness.
Yes.
It's so crucial.
Yes.
Like all of the things that I experienced when I was 15, and all of the hate that was stored up in my mind, in my heart for this man who like basically manipulated me my whole teenage life. I had to go back at 34 years old. I had to go back to when I was 15 and forgive him for every single thing he did.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that I could move forward with being who I am now and being the guide or the leader or the teacher if I was holding on to that hate.
Absolutely.
There's no way.
Mm-hmm,
There's no way. In order to clear the trauma from past hurt, you have to forgive. You have to forgive.
You have to forgive.
To go back to that time, and you have to say, I forgive you for hurting me.
Yes.
I forgive you for doing these things.
Yes.
A lot of the times, even if you go back and you really go back in your mind and you think about a time you did something wrong or you did something to hurt someone else. When you go back into that time, you're like, you were a different person. You weren't the same person you are now.
Nope.
The same thing goes for them that hurt you. At that time, they were a different person.
Yes.
It would be a crime to continue to hold on to 10 years of hate from a person that hurt you 10 years ago or 6 years ago. They're not even the same person anymore.
Mm-mm.
And even if they are, something has either shifted or either their trauma got worse or it shifted. And have you ever had an experience where, you know, someone did you wrong and you don't speak to them for 5 years? And then 5 years later, they call you and say, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry I did that. It took them 5 years to come and apologize to you. It's a very key thing to look at things like that, because, you know, sometimes people have to have to go through their own thing in order to see the faults that they did, right?
Yes.
So I had to go back and I had to look. I even stopped in order to heal that trauma between me and my friend. I had to stop looking at what he did and start looking at the choices that I made.
Yes. Yes.
What were the choices that I made when I was 15 to bring him into my life?
Yes.
What were the choices that happened? You know, and when you start to look at yourself and think about your choices, then it starts to make sense. Like, oh, I brought that in. Now you have to clear it by forgiving, by going back and forgiving. It's so important.
Absolutely.
Forgiveness is so important. It's a huge key.
Forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you. It doesn't condone anything that they did. It just says that I'm just letting it go. I'm forgiving them for me. You know, I'm a heart disease survivor, right? My heart disease is a direct manifestation of a broken heart. So if you don't forgive, if you don't let go of the trauma, it will manifest in a disease. Your body is trying to tell you something. If you are living with some dis-ease in the body temple, I can tell you that dis-ease is in relation to an emotion. And for me, it was heartache and heartbreak.
Yeah.
Right. And so in order to release it, you got to release the person.
I love what John said. She said communication is so important too. Like, you know, there's a few different tools and modalities to healing, right?
Yes.
So that communication is a key. Like, you know, a lot of times I didn't have anybody to talk to for a long time.
Yeah.
For a long time about the pain, even when my mom was, you know, alive, and I didn't even have to. My mom was so in tune with spirit, you know. I don't even know if she realized, but you know, she knew that I was going through a tough time with this friend that I had, and because I was so afraid to talk about it, I never communicated that to my mom. Do you know how powerful it would have been if I could have been able to articulate and communicate the feelings that I had inside to my mother?
Yes.
She would have been able to help clear that energy, you know, and I would have, but I wasn't educated on that. She wasn't educated.
Yeah.
But communicating to your friends, to a pastor, to a loved one, you know, to a therapist, you know, to your healer, communication is so key to actually verbalizing what is happening.
Yes.
So now when I deal with a situation that I can potentially see is going to hurt me, right? Because now I'm at a point now where I know that the hurt is coming.
Yes.
I already know. I can feel it. I don't even have to. I can feel it in my gut because I'm spiritually in tune.
Yes.
So now I communicate those type of things to myself in meditation or to my spirit guides.
Yes.
I communicate so much. And then I also communicate, I over communicate to the person that I'm dealing with.
Yes.
So if I'm dealing with a person, right, that I can see it's not going down the right path, or it's not, the relationship is not going the way it's supposed to, I actually verbally communicate that to the person.
Yes.
I actually call it out right away.
Yes. Yes.
It's a form of communication. So I love that John said that you have to communicate.
Yes.
The pain, communicate the pain, talk about the pain.
And it doesn't mean you have to call the person who did it. Right. You could potentially talk about it out loud to somebody, or you could potentially write a letter to that person, but without giving it to them. You can write all of the words out to clear it from yourself and then burn the letter, flush the letter, trash the letter, whatever, but it is now released from you. And then you hire the emotional healer that can speak to the subconscious mind, pull all that stuff up and out and throw it in the trash forever.
Yes.
We are the cheat code, Jones. We are the cheat code.
Father, say hi to Father Abraham. Hi, Father.
Hi. Jai said, if it wasn't for, I would have fell deep into the,
so beautiful. So beautiful. Beautiful.
You know,
We need-
it's so important to be who we are, to accept the calling on your life. I accept the calling on my life a long time ago before I was public with who I am. And Jathia is somebody who's been around for a long time.
Long time.
So
long
she's
time.
seen, you know, the growth in my work, and, you know, has given me the honor and the privilege to work with her. You know, I don't take any of that lightly, you know, that a person would choose me to work with them. You know, it is such a loving thing to be able to do when somebody comes to you and gives you their heart broken, and you take it from them, you put the Band-Aid on it and heal it all up and love it and then give it back to them. You know, that's really what I feel like that I do when people show up for me.
My whole body just got goosebumps, like my entire body. Like, you just said the most profound thing. I read something that was so powerful the other day. It said, you meet someone, you meet someone in peace, and then they leave you in pieces. But then when you meet the right person, you meet them in turmoil, and then they put the pieces back together.
Yes.
It's so powerful, you know, and then they bring you back to peace.
Yes.
It's so powerful to find that life partner, that soul partner, that you know, and when I say life partner, I'm not talking about sex. I'm not talking about relationships. Like, Darlaina Rose is my life partner.
Yes.
For life. You have healed so much in me and helped me grow so much and educated me so much about the mind and the body. There, you have to choose a partner in life, a friend, a soul friend, you know, who is going to help you put the pieces back together. Sometimes it's not about money. It's not about sex. It's not about, you know, going out to the next party, or, like, you know, none of that. It's just about having someone that you can just talk to about your problems, and then they understand it.
Yes.
You know, someone who understands trauma and can read the trauma. You know, sometimes when I'm sitting with people and I'm having a conversation, I can actually see their trauma.
Yes.
Already.
Yes.
I can see it.
Yes. Yes.
I can see it, but that's because, you know, the interesting thing is about that is that there was a time in our lives when we were going through trauma, and we couldn't see other people's trauma because we didn't clear our own.
Yes.
When you have trauma, it's like a blur. It's like things are a blur, and it's a little, like, it's almost like foggy, like a fog on the car window. When you get in the car and the thing is foggy, and you gotta wipe it.
Yes.
You gotta turn the heat on high in order for the fog to clear. When you have trauma, you're foggy. When you deal with a person who's clear, we can see that fogginess.
We see it.
We can feel the fogginess. We've come to help. We're that heat. We are the person. We are the
answer.
Wiping of the fog.
Yeah.
So that's why we pick up on it intuitively so much. You know, sometimes it could be a facial thing that they do, and I pick up on the trauma. You know, it could be a word. The word, for me, it's the words.
Yes.
It's the words.
It's
when a person speaks a certain way or they say a certain thing, I'm like, oh, that's trauma. That's trauma.
Listen, I had my cousins came in from town. One from Savannah, Georgia, another one from New York, and I think the other girls from New York too. They came in town. They said, we were going to pay to have brunch somewhere else, so why don't we just pay you and you just make us brunch? So I said, okay. So they come to my house, these three ladies, two of them are my cousins, and one is a friend of the family that been with the family so long, I consider her family too. They were sitting and they were talking. And I was so overwhelmed with how much pain was in the room.
Mm-hmm.
I could cut it. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening to them talk, and I feel like I'm just falling apart. Like I'm getting deeper. I'm just getting stabbed every time they talk. I'm just like, listen, I have an idea. And they say, what? I said, I would like to do an emotion code session on each of you today, right now. And they were like, for real? I'm like, yes, for real. And I took each of them one by one, and pulled up trauma from 5 years ago, from 10 years ago. One cousin, her brother was killed in an accident, and the other young lady was his fiance at the time. So in his sister, I found deep grief from that time. And from his girlfriend, I found heartache from the same time. Same event, same person, two different emotions that got trapped at the same exact time, the same exact period.
Wow.
And I was able to help them all to lift all those burdens up, throw them in the trash, and they left my house different than what they came. And that is what the gift of knowing what it was. So much trauma. So I was getting beat up. I'm like, hold on, wait, stop talking. Listen, because they were in so much pain. You could hear it in every word that they said.
Pain. That pain is so, pain is an interesting thing, because, the pain from, going through, losing my mother, that pain could have set me on a trajectory of a downward spiral.
Yes.
And that pain could have, but I used that as a way to actually get better.
Yes.
I turned that pain into getting better. It's such an amazing thing that, I was even thinking that the other day, I'm thinking, I remember the time that I lost my mother, I was going through divorce. I was going through bankruptcy. I was, I was losing so many things at the time.
Yes.
And going through a divorce and losing the house, I had to actually move back in with my mom. We're talking 11 years ago. I had to move back in with my mother. And for 2 years, I lived with my mother until she got sick. Within those 2 years, before my mother passed, so many things were healed. I didn't even realize it until now, because I was able to actually move back in with my mom and spend time with her and do things with her.
Yes.
And at the time, I didn't see it like it then. At the time, I was lonely and sad and depressed, and but I actually got to spend time with my mother. It was so beautiful.
Yes.
It was so beautiful. And that was a huge part of my healing too, like going back and internalizing that, that trauma, because when you lose your mother, you automatically, trauma comes up right away.
Absolutely.
That is
absolutely
trauma.
Yes. People don't realize that the things that happen in life are not happening to us, they're happening for us. I lost my house too. I went through all of that too. And at the time, because I worked so hard, it was the first thing I ever did for myself. And I was like, it's my house and I'm not losing it and I'm not this. And it was my mentor who stuck in and said, let it go. And I'm like, no, I worked so hard. I'm just crying. I'm like, where am I going to go? And she was like, you're going to come and stay with me. Honey, you want to kick in the butt, go stay with your mentor. But listen, she kicked my butt. I walked in that door and I was crying. And she said, you can cry today, but tomorrow we're going to talk about it. Yeah. And the next day, we literally talked about it and came up with a whole 6-month plan. I was in there at her house for 6 months. At the end of 6 months, I had a new apartment. And then right after that, I moved to Georgia. So it was because I needed to lose that house. I needed to lose that house for life to happen for me the way that I needed to show up in the world. I could not be rooted no place. If I had not lost that house, I would still be in it.
Yep.
And the trajectory of my life may never have happened.
Right. Yep. I agree with that 100%. I believe, certain things happen, right? Like, yes. Certain things happen so that we can, there's no way to make it through this life without having some trauma. Absolutely. Having something. Absolutely. But I think a big key to this life is like the lessons, right? Yes. And then we go through the issue, we go through the problem, and we recognize it, we heal it, and then we move on. And then we help others to do the same thing. That's not everybody's life purpose, but if you think about it, the grand scheme of things, what are we really here for? Yes. Like we're all human beings, and we all go through very similar things. Maybe not the same exact things, but extremely similar things. Yes. So if I'm able to heal the things that might have taken me a step back, or I'm able to heal the things that hurt me in life, and I can learn from that and grow. Now I can help someone else. Now
Absolutely.
I can say, oh,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
sometimes when I sit down with other men, you know, black, white, whatever, but specifically black men, because black men go through black men go through a very specific type of trauma, and we can touch on that. But when I sit down with the black man, when I look across the table, I see me.
I was just about to say,
me.
See yourself.
I see myself.
See yourself. Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God, I was like you before. I was like you.
Yes. Yes.
It was one time I was in a restaurant one time, and it was just like this 17-year-old kid, 18-year-old kid. He was cool. He had, you know, cool clothes on, and he had these big R. Kelly earrings in. I'm talking about huge, right? And I was going through a time when I was letting go of like all of that, like jewelry. I was letting go of, because the jewelry was I was holding on to a trauma of trying to be like someone else.
Yes.
The jewelry.
Yes.
So I was like, so when I looked at the kid, I was like, man, he looks so ridiculous with those earrings on. and then because they were huge. I'm talking about the earlobes was like coming down like this. Like it was just huge. It was just ridiculous, you know? And so, and I looked at him and I judged him for a second. I was like, man, he looks so silly. And then I was like, oh my God, used to be that kid.
Yes, yes.
That used to be me. Mm-hmm. And I immediately cut off all judgment. I was like, you know, no.
Yes.
He just needs guidance.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
And maybe it's not my job to guide him. Maybe it is his journey to go through that lesson.
Yes, absolutely.
In order to learn the lesson, you have to go through it.
Yes, absolutely.
You can't get the grade. You can't pass the class unless you go through the lesson.
Absolutely. Immutable Vibe says, thank you for sharing that. She says she just lost her dad and is trying to navigate all those emotions in the midst of life. Absolutely. Christopher and I both have lost our mothers and our father. And so for me, especially, I was very, very close to both of my parents, my mother and my father. My mother and father were married for 50 years before my dad passed away first. And then my mom just died recently 2 years ago. So it is a wound that, you know, a lot of people say, you know, time heals that wound. But let me just tell you from experience that it's a lie.
It's a lie.
Time does not heal that wound. What time does is allows that wound to be tolerable. But the wound will always be there. There are times when I boohoo and cry like it just happened yesterday. And for my father died in 2013. But I hear my father in my thoughts always.
Always. It's so amazing. It's so amazing you said that. And I'm going to touch on what Josh said. Once we heal, then we are tested. I love that.
Yes.
But before I touch on that, February 25th, 2022, this past February, I was sitting in Costa Rica on the beach, and February 25th is my mother's birthday. And it's been 11 years. 11 years. And I'm sitting on the beach and I'm crying like she just passed yesterday.
Yes. And
the tears can't stop falling, and I can hear her voice, and I can feel her spirit. You know, my mother. We'll talk about that in a different podcast. The spirits and the astral plane. You know, and the communication with spirits. So my mother is with me, and I can feel her over my shoulders, and I can feel her hugging me. The wound never heals. You're so right, Darlaina. It doesn't. But we learn how to deal with it, and we learn the tools that we need in order to deal with it. That's so beautiful. You know, it's so beautiful that you said that. You know, I love what Josh said. We are tested. For sure, we are tested. You know, I just recently, maybe like 6 months ago, I went through a situation. Maybe like 4 months ago, I went through a situation with, you know, a friend who, you know, it turned into a, you know, a situationship, I guess you could call it. And it was beautiful. It was very beautiful. And it didn't really, the outcome didn't go the way I wanted it to go, right? You know, or the way that I envisioned it to go, however you want to call it. And I felt some pain. I felt some hurt from that situation.
Yeah.
But also it was such a test for me to be able to go through that and forgive, right?
Yes.
And almost immediately.
Yes.
It was so beautiful to be able to do that, because I remember going back when I was 17, 18, and I had a girlfriend and she cheated on me and all these things happened. And I had so much hate and hurt in my heart at 17 years old. I used to say things like, I will never trust a woman.
Yes.
Do you know how damaging that is?
The
to
words.
say that?
Yes, the words. The words
Do you know
have
how
power.
damaging that
That's
is
a
to say that?
prayer. That's a prayer.
Like when you say, I will never trust a person, that is like so damaging to your soul.
Yes. Yes.
And I had to clear that trauma.
Yes.
That test that I recently went through,
yes.
that test of forgiveness, it took me back to when I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
All those things started to come up. Like, oh, she did this to me. She did that to me. And then I had to step outside of myself and I had to say, oh my God.
People are human and humans make mistakes and they
make mistakes.
And they don't even know.
I had to say to myself,
mm-hmm.
who are you going to be right now?
Yes.
Are you going to be the angry, mad,
yes.
mad black man, yes. Oh, I'm going to get you back. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're forgiving.
Yes.
We're in a forgiving business.
Yes.
I'm going to love, I also, man, trauma.
Let's look at these comments.
Alicia, that's my soul twin. That's my birthday twin.
Nice.
That's my birthday twin in Costa Rica.
Nice. So MJ says, when it comes to parents, it's a forever broken heart you learn to deal with. She said, my brother's spirit comes to me often. I've gained an angel. And then Buddha Blessing says, we are no one to judge someone. It is a part of wearing, and we are in a free world. We are no one to tell someone what to wear or what not to. The real costume is our body and mind. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So good.
That's powerful.
So good.
And MJ says, you're speaking it into existence. We have to watch our words and intentions because the universe will provide what you put out. Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Josh
words
said,
are spells. Words are spells.
Yes. Josh said,
Words
I
are
personally
spells.
know a few Black men that are still traumatized by past relations and can't properly love. Absolutely.
Now I want to touch on that for sure.
Yes.
Being a Black man and dealing with past relationships. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning, right? Let's go back to the beginning. If you grow up as a young boy, a young Black boy, and you don't see your father love your mother, if you don't see your father kiss your mother, if you don't see your father hug your mother, there's maybe 1 or 2 times that I've seen my parents love each other that I can remember. I'm sure it's more than that, right? It's like 1 or 2 times. I have pictures of them being married, being happy, at a time when they were happy. But most of the interactions that I remember are not good interactions. Wow. They're interactions from hurt, from pain, from unforgiveness. And I even had to go back and I had to forgive my mother for not forgiving my father. I had to forgive my father for not being the man that we needed him to be at the time that we needed him. Yes. I had to do this forgiveness because I was taking this trauma into relationships that I had.
Yes. We
don't realize it, but subconsciously, like you said earlier, it's a what's the word you use? I can't remember. I always forget. It's an algorithm in our brain.
Yep.
And so when something comes up in a relationship that you might not like, you go back to when your mother and father were fighting. You do it unconsciously.
Yep.
You don't do it. You don't do it and know that you're doing it.
Yes.
But it's there in the back of your mind. You have to go back and clear that from your conscious.
Absolutely.
so that you can move forward in loving relationships. So a lot of Black men, they're not able to have a have a building relationship. They're not able to have a loving relationship or a healthy relationship with another woman because they haven't healed their past trauma with their parents.
Yes.
They haven't healed. They have unhealed wounds and unhealed things that they haven't dealt with yet.
Yes.
And they jump right into a relationship thinking that that's going to be the answer.
It's so important to heal.
That's not the answer, young
It's
man.
not the answer.
The answer is to actually, and I had to do this, which is and relationships are a big part of our lives, right?
Yes.
A part of our life code is to find a partner, to be with someone, to love someone, to be in love, right? So a lot of times we run to these relationships thinking that that's going to be the answer. That's where we're going to find our healing. But you can't jump into a relationship unhealed, because all it's going to do is the unhealed parts are going to come out even more.
Yeah.
And then it becomes toxic. I had to learn, and I'll be honest, from the time that I was 16, 17 years old until the time that I was 34, I was always in a relationship. I was always with a woman. That's like 15 years, 17 years of being, that's 17 years of not being alone.
Yes.
Not knowing who I was.
Yes.
Holding on to trauma from when I was 6 years old and I saw my mom and dad fighting. Trauma from when my parents got divorced. Not seeing a man, my father love my mom and be compassionate to my mom and tell my mom positive things. And then I entered into a manipulative relationship with a friend who taught me all the wrong things about how to treat a woman. So now I'm taking all that I learned from the time that I was, 6 years old to the time that I was 17, and taking that into every single relationship that I was ever in.
Yep.
It was like, it's almost like you're walking around in a straitjacket. Like you're literally walking around like loopy, like crazy.
Yes.
And I had to step back and I had to say, oh my God, that's why I can't find a wife. That's why I can't find a woman. It's not her, it's me.
Listen,
it's me.
They say everywhere you look, there you are. Everywhere you go, there you are. So one of the things that, people think that if I come with my 50% self and you come with your 50% self, we're going to make 100%. No, 50% people make a whole mess. So when you bring 100% and they bring 100%, guess what? It doesn't equal 200, it equals 100. If you come 100% healed, they come 100% healed, that makes two people who make 100.
It's so beautiful because from the time that I was 34 until now, which is 5 years, 39, being alone and single, and not alone, because I have so many divine people in my life. I'm not alone at all.
Yes.
But I've done so much growth and so much healing has taken place from being alone and focusing on myself, focusing on my healing. The first 3 years, after 3 years of healing, being alone, being single, so many beautiful things rose up in my life. rose up in my life. That's a fun. So many beautiful things came up, and I was able to triumph over so much hurt and trauma just by being alone. Just by not running into a relationship, jumping into a relationship. And let me tell you what happened. What happened within those 3 years of me healing, my relationship with Darlaina Rose got stronger. My relationship with Danielle Jeter got stronger. My friendships with Lita got stronger. So many divine women entered into my life at that time because I was able to focus on my heart, focus on myself, focus on my healing. And I literally, like Josh said, you attract what you are. If you're healing, you're going to attract other healed people, yes, other healed men, other healed women, because it's a frequency, it's a vibration that you're transmuting. It's a frequency.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then once you can attune and align with that frequency, other people will bing off of you. They'll build off of you. They'll attract to you. And I started attracting all of these healed people. It was so beautiful. It was so loving. The type of relationships the friendships that I've built over the last 5 years, and then the friendships that got stronger. It's the friendships that got stronger. We as Black men, we're so scatterbrained. We're so all over the place. Like, oh, I want to be with this chick. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to go to the strip club. Oh, I want to go out to the club. Oh, I want to drink with my boys. Oh, I want to do this. And it's no judgment on none of those things, because that's where I come from.
Yes.
But there has to be a time when you have to like put a stop to certain things so that you can focus on you, so that you can start bringing in the right people.
Absolutely.
And then also you can start building on the people that you've already had. Like, if I hadn't done the healing work that I've done, our relationship wouldn't be as strong as it is now.
Absolutely.
You know, focus on the relationships that bring you peace, that bring you clarity, that are not confusing. Focus on those relationships, because those are the relationships that are going to take you to the next level. Those are relationships that are going to continue your healing. This healing trauma is a never-ending thing.
Right.
We're always going to be healing something.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, once you heal one part, you go to the next and you hire Darlaina Rose. You say, Darlaina Rose, I need help with this. Can you help me? Oh, yes. My God, I see you've done so much work already. Okay, yes. There's so many things we can do more. You know,
yes,
you hire Chris Jones to come in and help you with the meditation, with the mindset, with keeping that mindset, with calling in spirit to help you, to guide you. Continue that healing. It's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jones, this is truly the beginning of the beginning. We have set the intention to be here every Friday.
Every Friday,
for this 1 hour of amazing topics and conversations, mainly around healing the body.
Healing the mind, the body, and the soul.
Absolutely.
Mind, body, and soul.
And so wherever that takes us, we don't know. We just willing to take the ride together.
We know it's going to take us up.
Up. That's what we know.
Yeah.
So definitely tune in, tap in. We're going to develop out the platform. We're going to be on a podcast near you. We will be streaming on, we are streaming in this moment on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. We are all those places. And so we are so open to building it out. You know, the technology we're going to figure out so that it delivers a little bit better next time, because literally this came into reality in like less than 24 hours.
That's how we do it.
That's how we do it.
Quick.
That's how we do it. You know, and that's the thing, because some people won't listen to their intuition and do what their intuition tells them to do. And you never know where it's going to take you. So, you know, who knows? We might end up on a radio show near you. Who knows? But we are open and willing to bring this information to people so that we end up with more healed people in the world. More healed people come into the world becomes a better place. So please. Yoga City.
Comments and questions, right?
Yes.
We're taking comments and questions. I love the comments. You know,
yes.
I love how people are responding. We're responding to the comments.
Yes.
So continue to send your comments. You know, send us a DM if you have any questions, if you need help, if you need guidance. Darlaina Rose is here for you. I'm here for you. Yes. I do my meditations every morning at 8:11. I do meditations. If anybody wants to join my meditations, Darlaina Rose, she has a healing house in Atlanta, Georgia, where she welcomes people who need healing,
yes,
spiritual healing, mental healing. We're going to be working on doing workshops and things like that, events, healing events. And Darlaina Rose, you're constantly doing videos.
I'm live every morning at 8 a.m. and again in the evening at 8 p.m. doing the law of attraction, teaching people how to attract the life that they want. And today was day 115. We are 115 days of teaching the law of attraction, and my students that are in the class, they are attracting some of the most amazing things. So join me. It is absolutely a treat. We are here. I do that 7 days a week. Team no days off, because life doesn't take any days off.
No days off.
Nope, because
Let's
you
get it.
got to do the work every day. You should give yourself the gift of healing, the gift of learning, the gift of being. And so even if you can't attend the classes, it's somewhere on some platform. You can always watch it in replay, to hear the other students, to see the other students. YouTube is where everything is streamed at, so you can find a lot of my classes and stuff on YouTube. And plus I'm building my watch hours over there, so YouTube can cut me a check. So go on over YouTube. I need 4,000 watch hours. So go ahead over there and watch that stuff over there.
Cut that check.
Yes, cut the check. So Chris, I really, really appreciate you listening to your intuition and asking for us to hold this space today.
Always.
It is something that I believe is going to skyrocket.
Yeah.
Intentionally.
We manifested this in 24 hours, but really for the people it's been 24 hours, right? But really we've been manifesting this for the last 20 years.
Absolutely.
For the last 20 years. Absolutely. We've been building this. And so that's why it's going to be so powerful, is because we have 20 years of knowledge to share with people.
Absolutely.
We have 20 years of knowledge.
Buddha Blessing says she wants to invite us to Yoga City.
Yoga City. Let's go. Where is that?
I think she in
Atlanta?
No, I think she's in India.
Yoga City? We coming to Yoga City.
We coming to Yoga City.
In India.
Yeah, Buddha Blessings, where is Yoga City? She said, please, if possible, I would love to invite you people in Yoga City. So I don't know, wherever Yoga.
I love yoga.
City.
I do Kundalini yoga every morning, and I do my meditations. So I'm ready for any yoga city. Let's go.
Listen, let the healing begin. So again, we thank you for being here. We will be back next Friday at the same time. And in that time, we'll work on technology and all those other things so that we can get to you more clearly. If you have any questions, concerns, or things you'd like to suggest, by all means, DM Christopher or myself, and we will absolutely get to. So
may all the beings in this world and on Instagram be blessed and feel loved and cared for and upheld by the Great Spirit.
Yes. Thank you.
Satnam.
Yes. Bye for now.
Peace.
Thank you, TikTok, for always being here. And thank you on all the other platforms for watching and listening. You are amazing. Thank you again. We so appreciate you for taking your time to